So my journey starts with a relationship to money, and that's because I had none when I was young. I was born in Akron, Ohio, single mom, 6 kids, packed my dinner in a paper bag, filled up turnstiles at 7-Elevens with greeting cards just so we could eat.
Hmm.
But I was happy. So
Yeah.
my journey started with my relationship to money according to how happy I was. And what do I mean by that? That to me, money bought love and happiness because it was the only thing that was missing from my happiness. The only time I was sad was I'd catch my mom with financial distress. Car would break down. How is she going to afford, with the philosophy of doctor, lawyer, or failure, fetus wasn't fully developed till after graduate school. How was she going to pay for all the college and graduate school? And it used to, bring her complete stress. And years old when my dad left, I'm like, I'm going to be rich. Now, one advantage of believing money buys love and happiness that I found, and I know Georgetown, a lot of the students there probably have parents that were like my mom, doctor, lawyer, or failure. You feel a lot of pressure to please your parents, especially if they're paying for your college.
Right.
You want to do what they ask. But one advantage of not doing that, my siblings all went to the Ivy Leagues, Harvard, Penn, Columbia, summa cum laude. They listened to my mom. I didn't. I wanted money. The advantage is if you're only looking at the money, you're always looking for more options because you're always looking for someone to pay you more. And so that really drove my career. So when I went to law school finally to be an oil and gas litigator, to be rich enough to buy my mom a house and a car, I also was pursuing other opportunities that would pay more than 150 grand. By the way, I wish somebody would have told me this when I was in college. I know a lot of you maybe want to work in Wall Street, you want to be doctors and lawyers and all those. Look, just because you can make 150 grand being a lawyer out of law school, you're not making that much. You're working three $50,000 jobs. If you want money, that's not the way to go. So I took a sales job. Ironically, my mom told me, I took it in the internet in 1992.
Oh, wow.
We were born. DOS, monochrome screens. I carried my computer on a luggage cart. But more importantly, my mom told me the internet was a fad, and that if I wasn't a real lawyer, that I'd be a disastrous failure, and that the internet was a failure, I was a failure, and how dare I not be a real lawyer. Great lesson, even if you don't listen to anything else I say. Just because your parents love you doesn't mean they give you good advice.
That is a great piece of advice there. Yeah. And that's not just even like love. I think one of the biggest things I've learned in my own life is just because they have proximity to someone doesn't mean that they're the right person to ask for advice. Proximity is a bad proxy for quality of advice here. And especially in today's world, like you should find the best person who can give you real advice rather than like use proximity as a proxy.
Yeah, exactly. And I take it to a higher level of because asking to me is such a crucial thing. So I think that because we feel so separate, the tree has no branches. If we truly believed everybody was a sponsor, a power sponsor of ours, that we were all connected, that one branch would not go to war against another branch, if we truly believe that, which I do, then we would look upon everyone as a sponsor or a power sponsor, not a gatekeeper, not as resistance, voids, and shortages to what I want. And so I've taken that perspective by asking almost everyone I meet in person, on the phone, via email, and social media, do you know anyone that can help me? But regardless, my career journey, to finish up so I can answer more questions, I ended up taking a job selling legal research online. 9 months out of law school, I was a millionaire. Went up to the we sold in 1995 for $3.4 billion with a B. There wasn't many billion-dollar companies in 95. Went to the Silicon Valley, raised hundreds of millions of dollars. Always keeping my options open, always being more interested than interesting, always learning, always asking for help. And by the time I was 30, I was a multimillionaire. I ran Samsung's first phone division, the world's first smartphone, a Windows device, believe it or not. It was a Windows C device that combined a laptop and a telephone in one, called the PCE phone. And that's when my journey really began, because that's when that paradigm shift started rearing its head of money doesn't buy happiness and love. I went from living in a world at that point in my life, I was a victim as a child, born with nothing in a world of not enough. Everything happened to me. I would say, why me? Why do they have this? Then I became a millionaire and a multimillionaire, and I lived in a world that was for me. I was very generous. I gave tons of money. I believe the more you give, the more you receive. And then I shifted that paradigm, and it started when I was 30 to starting to understand that, gosh, I'm buying a lot of things I don't need. I'm buying a lot of different things when I'm not happy, or more things when I'm not happy. I'm buying things to impress people. I'm buying things to impress people I don't even like. And that world of just enough quickly by 2006 became a world of more than enough. I ended up surrounding myself with the wrong people, the wrong ideas. I left Samsung, became CEO of the world's most notable sports agency in the world, like you noted, Lee Steinberg. They made the movie Jerry Maguire about my firm. And then 11 years ago, I spun off a marketing company with Warren. In the last 4 years, I built my own brand the way I built the biggest brands in sports and entertainment for myself, proving that you could build a community off of an idea to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. I'm looking for 1,000 people like Eric who will empower 1,000 people in his life to empower over 1,000 people, simply to create a collective consciousness of happiness. Happy people, they don't attack other people. They live in a world of abundance. They do good deeds. They're kind. They have good character. Happy people will create an abundant world where there's more than enough of everything for everyone. If I can approach that 1 billion person mark, we're going to have a true collective consciousness that one little particle of light overcomes millions of particles of darkness. But even moreover, happiness is a virus. My favorite part about happiness is the only virus that's spread by witnessing it.